Welcome back to this special edition of Humber News, The Art of Giving.
Roughly 28% of Canadians are living with alcoholism or an addiction to drugs, according to Statistics Canada. But one charity north of Toronto is helping those suffering with addictions to get back on the right path. Catherine Ward has more.
Around Toronto, you might see green bins with the words STEPS across the front. Some might think this is just a clothing drop-off, but it's only a small piece of a greater organization that gives back to the community. Funded by individual donations and government assistance, the STEPS program's mission is to make long-term recovery possible for people struggling with addiction.
We're a bit of a bridge. We bring people in who have been clean and sober for 30 days and help them get the skills they need to go out and function in society.
The program uses the 12-step model of recovery, which is a guiding set of principles and actions started by Alcoholics Anonymous that helps individuals overcome their addiction. The STEPS organization furthers this recovery by teaching job, computer, and resume writing skills. Participants can attend support group meetings at the offices located north of the city. Bruce KIRK is the executive director of the organization. He says a multifaceted approach has been the key to their success.
As a professional, I've never met anyone who could say, my life is different because of counseling alone. So that's an important piece, but there needs to undergird that with other very practical lifestyle steps that come along with that.
STEPS officials say the holidays are known to be a difficult time for those coping with addiction. The organization is working hard to ensure people are well supported.
What we do is we're trying to find meetings for them to go to and keep them busy, have them involved in charity work, working at the soup kitchen, helping deliver food hampers so that they're thinking of other people and not of themselves.
And while STEPS offers many programs in the city, it's here in the heart of rural Kettleby where something truly special happens. The farm is a valued and treasured place in the STEPS community. Men can apply to stay at the ranch to participate in a 3-month program that helps addicts get back on their feet. It can house up to 10 participants at a time, and the group lives in a community-centered environment. House manager Les Williams ensures the men stay busy while they are there.
Well, we have a school, so they have skills development. We also put them to work, so they work on the farm. They work on the ranch, they do things like that. But mostly it's 12-step work.
Williams says the results are significant.
We take pictures of them when they first come in, and the difference in 3 months is absolutely amazing. Not just in how they look, but in how they behave, how they act. They stand tall.
Catherine Ward, Humber News.
STEPS is just one organization looking to extend a helping hand to those in difficult circumstances. The Out of the Cold program is a volunteer initiative by churches, synagogues, and other religious centers that offers shelter and support to Toronto's homeless. Here are some of the locations participating in the program. Out of the Cold host sites offer food, shelter, and a warm place to stay to the least fortunate Toronto residents. The program is funded by the City of Toronto. The locations shown here aren't the only places offering this service. Anyone looking for more information should check out the group's website.
Compassion and giving to others is a major foundation for many faiths, including Buddhism. It's based on the belief that serving others leads to a fulfilling life. Kristen Andrews has more.
Buddhists believe all living beings on this earth are connected, and in order to live and work together, we need to cultivate compassion for one another. Larry Wakisaka, president of the Toronto Buddhist Temple, says compassion is essential to living a balanced and enlightened lifestyle.
I think giving is really an essential component of compassion. If you have the ability to give and you understand what the giving does, it propels everything forward in a most positive way.
You don't have to be a Buddhist to experience the benefits of giving. Lots of people go out and help out within their community and perform kind acts for others. Lindsay RYDER started a random acts of kindness group on meetup.com. The group plans activities based around giving, a concept Lindsay tries to incorporate into her everyday life.
Being conscious of giving is something that I try and live by. So even if it's just holding the door open for someone or just recognizing that there's other people there and we all need to work together, and the best way is kindness.
Ann Walsh has been volunteering at the Good Shepherd Soup Kitchen in Toronto for over 5 years. Ann says she gets more out of the experience than the people she's helping.
Some of them, they were calling me Mama. And that really, it affected me. You know, I'm 81, so you know, I am a mama.
Wakisaka says it doesn't matter how you give or even what you give, just as long as you do something that brightens the light in someone else's life.
Can you imagine the world if we could all put into play an action or a deed and have that person realize what had just happened and in turn spread around and just spread this idea of compassion and giving across the world? It'd be a much better place.
Kristen Andrews, Humber News.
An online Cygnus donor survey says people with religious affiliations are some of Canada's biggest charitable supporters. Not only are they more likely to open their wallets, they are also more generous with giving their time. According to the survey, those with strong religious ties donate an average of 3 times more than those who say they are not religious, and twice as much as those who say they are spiritual or somewhat religious. The president of the research company says religion plays a huge role in encouraging people to give back.
The holidays are a time when we share messages of hope and the human spirit. One journalist has been sharing her inspirational story of battling the odds despite her disability. Barbara Turnbull recently spoke at a charity event. Will met up with Turnbull there.
Guests gathered at the Columbus Centre in Toronto to listen to journalist, survivor, and motivational speaker Barbara Turnbull speak up about her tragic accident. Gunned down when she was 18, Barbara's life would change forever.
I was injured in a botched robbery attempt at a store that I worked at in 1983. And as a result, an assailant who fired a gun and shot me paralyzed me from my shoulders down.
Barbara's speech was part of an event called Turning the Page, Transforming Lives, hosted by ACT to End Violence Against Women. Penny Crowitz is the executive director of the organization and says Barbara and her story were a perfect example of what the organization's message promotes.
And one of the reasons we chose Barbara Turnbull is she fits the name of this event perfectly, Turning the Page, Transforming Lives. She's just done fabulous things. She started a foundation for spinal cord research. She's turned the page, she's transformed her life, and her goal is to transform the lives of many people with her research.
Her accident would not hold her back from pursuing her dreams, and she went on to graduate from journalism school in 1991. She currently works from home as a life reporter for the Toronto Star. SHAWNA HOFFMAN was one of many guests who attended the event.
Spoke about the importance of being optimistic. She spoke about the importance of, being intellectually curious and challenging yourself and, waking up in the morning and always working towards something more. And I think that that is something that everybody should work towards.
Proceeds from Turning the Page go towards installing children's libraries and shelters for abused women and children across Canada.
We did a really great job of getting a lot of people out to understand the message. As the executive director, Penny Crowitz, shared, 1 in 4 women are victims and or survivors, hopefully, of violence.
And Barbara's final message to the people was,
realizing that opening up your world is always better than closing it down.
Barbara's story inspires people of all ages to push forward with their dreams and keep an open mind. Because in the words of Barbara Turnbull, it's always better to look at the glass half full. William Key, Humber News.
Barbara Turnbull of the Toronto Star, that must have been inspirational for you as a journalist.
And listening to her story, I felt that she left a very powerful impact on me. She's currently working as a lifestyle journalist for the Toronto Star, which she mentioned in the story. And I think that she's done amazing work despite the odds being against her.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it can be hard to catch that big break in life, especially for those struggling to get into the music industry. Clover Sterling met with a former Humber grad who's offering a helping hand to artists in the Mississauga music community.
Deirdre Malahay is a Humber grad from the radio broadcasting program. She's the founder and host of her own radio and television program, Musically Yours Deirdre Malahay, which airs on Rogers TV and Haze FM.
I just created a La Music Circle, which gives opportunities for youth who don't have recorded material to come and showcase their work. We give them prizes, which includes recording songs and a free music video and stuff. They could be emerging artists, they could be, very talented professional artists who have never been given a chance on TV or radio. Though it's internet, it's worldwide based, and I have a very good fan base. So I'm very happy in what I do, promoting Canadian talent.
Inspired by a love for music and a passion for people, Malahay founded La Music Circle, a non-profit organization that scouts local musicians and provides them with opportunities they may not have had otherwise. Haze FM station manager Peter Whittaker says Malahe's dedication has always been 100%.
Deirdre's been with us 3 years. She runs two different radio shows on our independent music station. She's very involved in the community. We hear a lot of feedback about all the events she does. Really impressive work, body of work that she's done.
Malahe says her 19-hour work days are fueled by love and enthusiasm for her work.
She's like the Energizer Bunny. She goes and goes and goes. She doesn't stop. I don't know where she gets the energy.
Malahe's past professor Sheila Walsh says her warm and driven personality contributes to her continued success.
You know, skills are great, but you know, a lot of it is the character of somebody, and you can't teach that in college or university. That's what you have to bring, and she brought with her this wonderful spirit and wonderful attitude.
I think if you have a positive attitude towards everything you do, and to make sure you're doing the right thing to help a lot of people, nothing is a challenge. You just go ahead with a sincere heart.
Malahe says she has no intention of stopping anytime soon. She hopes to continue to further her career and help more young artists in the community. Clover Sterling, Humber News.
Coming up next, a study says one surprising group of Canadians are the largest group of volunteers. But who? We've got all that and more coming up after the break.
I'm Alex Fuller, and when it comes to giving, Canadian youth are becoming pioneers and leaders, and I'll tell you all about it.